Hey, YouTubers, let's get set, let's get ready, and let's go. I am so excited to be in this space with you today, and I'm going to finish out what I already started, which was how to become fearless. And got some feedback that people wanted to know the whole thing. So, guess what? I'm going to bring you the whole thing because there's really 7 different thoughts here on how to become fearless. And it's like one bite at a time. So get ready. Get your pen and your paper, put your ear pods in, whatever you need to do to jump on these nuggets. Because one thing I know, Dr. Tamara, aka Comeback Queen, you're not going to get it if you own that sofa. So get yourself up off that sofa so we can get going. It's 2023. We don't have any more time to be wasting. So get ready. So we talked about a few minutes ago, or on the other video, how to become fearless. And we talked about having clarity, that it takes a lot of clarity to get to the next step. Because if you don't know where you're going, guess what? You won't even get there. You'll just be going around and around and around and around. Just like when you go back to your high school reunions and you see some of the same folks in the same spot, haven't done nothing. Or you have the family reunions and the class reunions, and you hear the same broke down stories. Well, I'm here to help you have a different story because I am the comeback queen, and that's what I do is help people to come back and get back up to where they need to be. So we're going to strategize and finish out this series on how to become fearless. How does that happen? So we already said that we need to define and with clarity what it is we're trying to do. Only you know. It's in your head, not in mine. I know what I need to do. I know I can help you do what you need to do. My clients tell me I help them do what they need to do. But hey, you've got to talk to somebody and get it out of you and maybe get it on paper, talk to me, talk to somebody and get the help you need. And then we mentioned about visualizing your success. Vision boards are powerful tools. And yes, they are for men and women. Most people know they're just for women. No, they're not. They are for both sexes. So you can create a vision board. I do vision board as part of my platform. So vision boards are powerful to get it out of your head and get it on a poster board or a bulletin board or somewhere where you can take a look at this all the time. Because without vision, the word of God says that people will perish. And like I said a minute ago, people are just going around and around and around. There's nowhere to go. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be your story because we've been talking about creating your own story. So you've already got the first 2 steps. Now imagine that some kid is watching you. Imagine that your children are watching you, or your nieces and nephews, or if you're a school teacher, the students are watching you. People have eyes on you, whether you believe it or not. I was at an event where I was honored recently, and I had several people say, I've been watching you all weekend and how you move and how you engage with people. That was so surprising because I hadn't even paid attention to them. So people are watching all the time. And so if you have people in the room in your space that are watching you, especially dear ones, loved ones, then you need to get your act together. Because that's what it's going to take is getting your act together, getting your behind up off that sofa. That's what it's going to take. So it's easy to become fearless when you kind of know somebody is looking at you. You don't want to let your kids down. You don't want to let the people that you love and care for, you don't want to let them down. When somebody is depending on you, it helps you to walk a little bit bolder. Helps you to walk a little bit bolder because you don't want to let someone down. So consider that as a strategy in becoming fearless and the things that you need to become fearless in. So then, you this is so funny. A lot of folks have what they call an alter ego. Remember, certain personalities that you can call on. Some people call themselves by their middle name or put a Miss or Mrs. in front of it. I remember some years ago, Beyonce said she had an alter ego. So if that's what you have to do to stand up and become fearless, then do it. I have some friends that they'll identify themselves with their middle name when they really mean business. Kind of like when we were growing up and your parents called your whole name, they'll call themselves their middle name. Or sometimes all three names, first, middle, and last. Whatever it takes to cause you to rise away from having the fear, because you call yourself whatever those three names are, and you get busy. Think about your mother calling you back in the day. Think about, your uncle when they called that name. You knew that they meant business and they were not up for any games. So people get busy. Develop that alter ego, because sometimes, it gets you away from your childlike behavior and makes you feel like a real grown up. Hey, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to get this thing done. Ain't nobody stopping this show because I'm getting up off of that couch and getting moving. Let's go. So you tell yourself that you are brave and that you can do these things. And then you begin to walk in that way. You begin to behave like an adult that is going after some things, not like a child who doesn't know where they're going. You begin to act like a grown up and an adult. Because remember, people are counting on you to win because your win helps the family to win. Your win helps your employees to win. Because remember, you're a leader, you're a mentor, you're meant to survive, you're meant to thrive, you're meant to live the life that you love. I'm just saying, people, get up off that sofa. And then sometimes you may have to change your physiology. And what does that mean? It may mean that you change your posture, that you sit up more erect, and that you walk with your back straight. I learned all that stuff years ago. I am a veteran, and so that goes without saying. You're going to march and walk straight. But I also used to model. And so those kinds of things, experiences, I was as fortunate enough to have those experiences, but it's all about standing up erect because when we slouch over, it doesn't give our lungs enough breathing room. And we know that we need to fill our oxygen up. Breathing builds our mindset up, helps us to have hope when we can breathe in. You don't want to be on an oxygen machine like we just experienced in COVID. You want to breathe in your own hope. And so imagine yourself as the most successful and powerful person in history. This is the picture sometimes that it takes to walk fearlessly. When we look at some of the people that, hate to call names, but we, look at the successful people that are celebrities, that are in walking in high positions, they didn't get there unless they were walking fearlessly. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have some self-doubt. What that means is when that stuff creeps up, you're going to have the management tools to get up and get moving. You're going to get up off of that sofa, stop whining, stop complaining, because you are grown up. You don't need no bottle. You're a grown up. So start to act like one. People are counting on you. I've said in other videos that people really are waiting on you to show up because they need what you have. I need you and you need me. That was one of the gospel songs a few years ago. And it's so true. We're not meant to be an island. So show up, get up and show up. And next of all, we talked about posture. We're talking about breathing, taking in deep breaths, because sometimes even that can shake off any nervousness we have. Sometimes we got to make that hard phone call. Sometimes we got to sit down and have a conversation with someone. It may hurt their feelings, but you're going to do it in love. Sometimes that takes a deep breath. So we're breathing in and blowing out. So you're breathing in what you want and you're exhaling what you don't want. That's the old breath, and you're bringing in the new breath. So you always want to take three straight deep breaths. You want to stand straight, and you want to look ahead, and you want to look at the person that you're talking to. You want to look at them straight on. There's a lot about eye movements. There's so much I can teach on that about where the eyes reside as to what people are saying. Body language can tell us a whole lot. So be paying attention to those about your physiology as well. And then I want you to think about what type of regret will you have if you don't do that thing that you need to do? What type of regret will you feel if you don't do that thing that you're destined or needing to do? Now, I tell you all the time, we do not in this channel want to live with regret. A wisha, coulda, shoulda is not going to get us anywhere closer to where we need to be. So when you can feel that and you already know what that might look like, if I don't take this position, if I don't get this car right now, the interest rate's going to go up. We saw a lot of that just recently with the house boom. People didn't move and there are no houses now unless you're going to pay super duper interest rates. People have lost out great opportunities by not making that move. People have lost millions by not making that move. And now it's nothing but regret and regret and regret. Now, of course, one needs to do some fact finding if it's that kind of scenario. But once again, we're talking about, building our lives up. That dream that you have in your heart about having your own business. Have you done the work on it? Have you done the work? You have issues in your own self. Have you done the work? Because I know for sure if you're still on that couch, then you haven't done the work. Because people aren't on the couch unless they are full of fear and stress and all that crazy stuff. On this channel, we are living our best lives and our blessed lives. And we are going to move forward. We're going to put the trash out with the trash and welcome in the new stuff. So remember how it will feel if you don't act. Instead of thinking about failure, think about the consequences of not even trying. It's not always going to be a bed of roses. Sometimes we try things and it doesn't work, but at least you tried. I'm talking about not even attempting, not even trying. So I want you to be thinking about that. Regret is a painful pill to swallow. It is horrible. We all know what that looks like and feels like and tastes like. But do you want to keep doing that over and over and over again? No, no, sir, no, ma'am. Not here. Not on my watch. Because guess what? I believe in you. And I know that you're up for the challenge. So consider that. And just don't let this be your story. Don't let this be your story of living this way. And think about this. If you had 1 week to live, let's put it in perspective. If you had 1 week to live, what would you do? How would you spend the time? Would you be worrying about all this other stuff? Would you still be on the sofa? Would you be in the bed with the covers pulled up on you? No, you wouldn't. If you were going to die soon, you'd care what people thought about your failure? No, you get up and get moving so that your legacy will be known, that that person tried their absolute best all the time. And when they fell down, they got back up. Let that be your story. Let that be your story moving forward, that we're going to time out excuses, time out I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and we're going to get up and get moving. So if this is valuable to you, drop some nuggets below. Let me know if this is meeting your needs. How you're feeling today after all of this conversation, because I know walking fearless is important to human beings. You register the things that you can be afraid of, but then you try to manage them, you overcome them. Fear is a good thing because it can propel us into our future destinations. So listen, I'm going to sign off here. I am Dr. Tamara. I am the comeback queen. And one thing I know for sure, I want you to live your best life and your blessed life. And I also know that you need to get up off of that sofa and get it moving. All right, until next time, take care.